Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am Jeff Grant Media. In today's video, we're going to be cold soaking my Brave Stare Selvage Denim Golden Handshake Ironside jacket. Now, we are rapidly approaching the 30-day mark on the jacket, and before I do my full real user review, I want to cold soak it. I want to see what happens. I did kind of do that video where I kind of cold soaked it while wearing it because I got completely soaked in the snow driving home from the PA Farm Show. So I basically cold soaked and wore this thing to dry, and I got some really good creasing from that experience. But now we're getting a little bit more wear. I've been wearing this just about every day. I think I only didn't wear it one day. So even the days that it's cold out, I either wear a heavy jacket to work and then throw this on when I get there, or I just wear this underneath the heavy jacket. So I've been wearing this every single day, except for I think one day since I've gotten it. So we are starting to get a little bit of wear, and I want to do a cold soak. I want to pull any of the starches out of them and see if any of the indigo lifts at all. I don't think much of the indigo itself is going to lift, but I want to get the starches out and see if it softens it up and see if it wears any difference before the last few days before I do the full review. Now, I did talk to Mick, the founder of Brave Stare, via email, and he said, even though this is sanforized denim, if I soak this in hot water, the hotter the water, the more it will shrink. It will shrink up to about a half a size. Now, I like the way this is fitting. It is, I feel like, a little bit bigger on me, but I think it's more a little longer in the sleeves than the body, as opposed to how big it is in like the body. So I don't really want it to shrink. So I'm just gonna cold soak it, try to pull any of those starches out. I think maybe just a little bit of the indigo might lift because it's been worn, but I'm not really anticipating that. I'm anticipating more of the starches that were in the denim to manufacture it is what's gonna come out, as opposed to any of the actual indigo. But I think it might soften up just a little bit. So before we do the real review, we have to soak it before we do our full real user review of the jacket. And we will also check back later on as we wear the jacket more. So without further ado, let's go upstairs to the bathroom and soak the jacket. Okay, so we're in my bathroom. It's not glamorous, it's a bathroom, and it's a little dark in here because it's nighttime and I don't feel like lugging my lights from my basement all the way up to the second floor of my house. So here we are. Don't mind the staining. We got Miss Hazel Fantastic some new shower crayons. The purple stain, it did not come off. So we scrub it a little bit at a time, and it's slowly coming off, but don't mind that. Also, we're going to be using this bin, even though it's, dark. We're not gonna be able to see just by looking at exactly how much the water changes, but my wife was not too happy when I soaked my Vidalia Mills jeans in the tub. Even though these didn't really shed, the water was crystal clear, she wasn't happy when I soaked them in the tub because it's the tub we give our daughter a bath in. So I needed a tote for something else. I needed a tote for storage, so I bought this. This was cheaper and bigger than the clear totes, so I just got this, like, I don't know, it's like a bluish color. I don't know what color it looks like because this light's so dim in here, but we'll take this, put this in the tub, fill this up, and we'll use our kettlebells to hold the jacket down. We'll soak it for about an hour, and then we'll see what color the water is and hang it to dry, and then we'll wrap this video probably tomorrow after the jacket is dry and I can put it on and wear it and feel what it feels like once it's soaked and dried. So let's stop talking and let's get to it. Okay, I managed to find an old light that I had because it was pitch black in here. So we folded the jacket up. We got the bin full of water. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. There she goes. Soak, sink. Got a couple of kettlebells here. Hold her down. All right. And now we let that sit there for at least an hour, and we'll come back a little later, see what she looks like. The jacket had been soaking for about an hour and a half at this point. Trying to take a close look, the water was brackish and brown at the bottom of the bin, but it's very hard to see at this point with the camera. I did use a white cup to test the top of the water, and you can see it was very clear and very cold.
But when we go to dump the bin, you can clearly see the brownish water is coming out into the white tub, and this, I believe, is all of the starch that was in the material. So we've now rinsed all of that starch out, hopefully softening up the jacket quite a bit in the process.
So here we are about 22 hours later. We are definitely dry on the top, the shoulders, throughout the chest, but as we go down from about the mid pocket down to the waistline, it's still very, very damp. The cuffs are a little damp, but mostly the actual waistline from about the mid pocket down. Now I had this door closed, so this radiator would heat up this tiny space and dry this jacket. But somebody, I don't want to name names, they worked second shift last night, came home about midnight, used the restroom, and did not close that door again. So it didn't get that hot in here. It's also been like 55 to 58 degrees the past 3 days, and it's January in Pennsylvania. So it's been so warm that the heat's only really coming on in the middle of the night and like once throughout the day. So I haven't had the heat coming on repeatedly like we did last week to really help to dry this thing out. But it does look like it lightened up just a bit. I mean, the phone is making it look lighter than it is. It definitely, to the eyes, it is definitely still very dark. But I think it lifted just a little bit of color out of it. I don't think much at all. Most of what we saw, I think, was the starches and whatnot in it. Because even though it's denim, so it's raw denim, it's salvage denim, so it definitely feels stiff because it was wet. It does feel a little, I guess, softer, a little more pliable than it did prior. So it's definitely going to need to get broken in again. I mean, I still have my my creases, but I think it does look just a tiny bit lighter. See, look, if I put my hand in there, it's auto white balancing off my hand. So you can see that's closer to the true color of the jacket. If I take my hand away, you can clearly see that it's white balancing and making this whole center look a lot more washed out. But if I put my hand in there, it's still a little darker to the eye than that, but it definitely did not lose that much color at all. And we're, not showing ton of wear here. It looked like I was getting a few signs of wear here, like on the right cuff down here from rubbing against things when I'm grabbing like my keys and stuff, because I'm right-handed. So the right usually gets a little more wear than the left, but not too much. Again, only been about 30 days, just under 30 days of wear. And I didn't get to wear this today because it's still wet, but it should be dry by tomorrow. And we're gonna have roughly the same temperatures. I think it's gonna be a little cooler, probably more in the 40s, but we'll layer this with a hoodie, maybe throw my Flint and Tinder Berber or Sherpa line vest on over it if it's a little chillier. But hopefully by tomorrow, we're gonna keep this door closed. This should be dry by tomorrow. And obviously you can tell by my voice, I'm getting a little sick, so hopefully I am not down and out tomorrow. But even the leather patch is dry, but that did not look like it took on any sort of warpage or anything from the water soak. So all in all, very happy with what we did. Just want this thing to dry so we can wear it again. Okay, it is about a day and a half later. We soaked this on Friday night. It is now Sunday afternoon. It finally dried this morning. The cuff along the bottom was still just a little bit damp, so I just left it hang, and it finally dried out. So now it's 100% dry. I will say it's definitely a little stiffer, and the sleeves are definitely a little bit longer again. You can see I still have all of my creasing on my inner elbows, but the actual creases themselves seem to relax a little bit, so the sleeves kind of got some of that original length back. Now it is a little stiff. I'll just have to wear it, a little bit and break it in, because any denim, once you wash it, it's going to be stiff. But I am happy with the end results. The water that was at the bottom of the bucket was very brown and brackish, so a lot of that starch came out of the material. So again, it does feel a little stiff because it was denim that was hung dry, so the denim itself is going to be stiff, but it even feels like a little softer already because all that starch has now been removed from the jacket. So I don't think really any of the indigo lifted out of it. It wasn't blue at all. It was like a brownish, like brackish water. So it was just all that starch that was in the material. And I believe the reason that all that starch is in there is to help to keep the denim nice and straight and flat. So when they're sewing it together, they can actually get very accurate cuts, and they can sew everything properly and proportionately, as opposed to if they didn't have that starch, that's when you have a larger variance in size. But Again, it definitely feels better. I'm happy with the results. I think after I just wear this for a day, it's going to soften up from that that stiff denim-y feel, and all of these creases are probably going to work themselves back in. The only thing that I was unhappy about is I did develop a larger crease going down the back, but it doesn't seem like it's a deep crease that's worked into the material, so I'm pretty sure just wearing it for a day or two will work that crease out as well. So all in all, I'm definitely happy that I soaked this. I will definitely be soaking any more selvage denim after a couple of days of wear to try to get all that starch out, because it definitely makes it a lot softer feeling. So once I get this back broken in, get these creases worked back into the arms, I think my sleeves are going to be right about where I like them again. It didn't shrink at all on me because I did cold soak this. I didn't use hot water, but according to Mick, the founder of Brave Star, it only would have shrank up to a half a size if I soaked it in really hot water. So if you're looking to slim down your denim a little bit, soak it in hot water. If you want to keep the size, just cold soak it. It accomplishes basically the same thing, but the denim itself isn't going to shrink. Again, this is Sanfordized, so if it did shrink, it would have been a little bit, but I didn't want it to shrink. I like the way it's fitting. I can layer underneath this. Right now, I just have a t-shirt, a thin hoodie, and then the jacket on. But I still have enough room underneath if I want to wear a vest or a heavier sweatshirt if the weather does get a little cold outside, and that's without this looking big or oversized or sloppy. So I really like the cut of it, which is why I cold soaked it. I didn't really want it to shrink at all. So we're gonna go ahead, keep wearing this. We're gonna let it break back in, see how it softens up, see if these elbow creases work back in, and shrink up the sleeves a little bit, if you will. And we'll reconvene, and our next Brave Star video will be our full real user review coming soon. Post cold soak, we wanna see how it wears after that and see if we get any additional break in now that we just soak. Maybe the indigo loosened up and maybe we'll get some wear marks on it. But I don't think we're gonna get too much wear. We've only been wearing it about a month now, and not too heavily because it's been crappy. It's been too cold. It's been either rainy or snowy outside, so we haven't really done any fun projects. Haven't done any home reno projects or built anything outside. But eventually that's gonna come and that's gonna happen. And I think when it does, we'll be able to get some good fades working into some of our selvage denim. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. If you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.